Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Keep Calm and Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this very quick and easy to make voodoo doll. For this tutorial you're going to need plush yarn in white or the color of your choice. I'm going to be working this with a 5.5mm crochet hook. In addition to this you're going to need black double knit yarn, a button for the eye, pair of scissors, stitch marker, darning needles and some fiber fill. So make sure you've got all of these things. Now before we start, if you enjoy my tutorials, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. To start off with the legs, and for this, let's go ahead and work a slip knot using whatever method you prefer. And chain 2. 1, 2. From here, you're going to skip your first chain and work 8 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. Slip your hook in there, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both. That's my first single crochet. Let's go ahead and work 8 all together. Here's my last one, number 8. And once you have your 8 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. This should bring your stitches nice and close together, and you're going to start working in a spiral. So we're going to slip our hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and work your single crochet of round 2. So that's my first stitch of round 2. I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of each of my rounds. From here you're going to be working a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. That's 1, 2, 'So once you have your 8 single crochets, this completes your 1 round. So this is round 2. We're going to be following the same method and work 2 more rounds of just single crochet. So I'm going to work my first single crochet, put my stitch marker back in place and follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So go ahead, work 2 rounds of just single crochet and meet me back here. After 3 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 8. We're going to finish with this leg by working a slip stitch in our first stitch. Let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull this out of this stitch and pull this down. Now this finishes 1 leg. You're going to follow the same instructions to make another one of these, but this time you won't be snipping it off or working a slip stitch. So go ahead, work the same amount of rounds to make another one of these. Keep the yarn attached and meet me back here. I've now finished working the second leg as well. Now we're going to connect the 2 of these together with a chain 1. So we're going to work a chain 1 and connect this just at the same stitch where we finished off. Or you can do it anywhere else, it doesn't really matter, but I find it's easier to count the stitches like this. So work a slip stitch connecting 2 of the legs together. And from here, to start the next round, you're going to chain 1, going back into that same stitch to work your first single crochet. And we're going to be working 8 single crochets around your first leg. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Move the tail end out of the way. Stuff it back into the leg. And we're going to be working a single crochet in this chain 1. From here you're going to work 8 single crochets around the second leg as well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and my last one, number 8. And now we're back near our chain 1 space, and we're going to be working another single crochet from this side. So we're going to be working at the back of the previous stitches. So 1 single crochet to finish this round. So we've got 8 single crochets here, 8 single crochets here, and 2 in the center, which brings our stitch count to 18. Now we're going to start the next round by slipping our hook in the first single crochet of this round and work your first single crochet here. I'm going to start using our stitch marker from here on. So from here you're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish one round, you're going to need a total of 18 single crochets in a row. You're going to be following that same method and repeat it 5 times altogether to have 5 rounds of just single crochet. So go ahead, work 5 rounds of single crochet and meet me back here. At the end of 5 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 18. Now I'm going to start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. Follow the single crochet on with a decrease. To do this, you're going to pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Now here's your combination for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 12. Now starting the next round with 2 single crochets. That's 1, 2, stitch marker back in place. Follow these 2 single crochets on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Now as you can see, the space between these stitches is decreasing. So before you continue with this round, take a minute to fill this up with some fiber fill, then complete this round with this combination, 2 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count is 9. Now before we continue on to the head, we are going to take a moment and insert a thread 1 round below where we are currently. So slip your hook around a stitch, isolating. So put any scrap yarn through. So we're going to pull this through just so we know that this is where the neck is and this is where we're going to be stitching the arm later. So from here, we're going to continue working on our next round. And we're going to start off by working 2 single crochets in a row. That's 1 and 2, stitch marker back in place, followed on with an increase. So we're going to have 2 single crochets in that same stitch. And here's your repeat for this round. 2 single crochets followed on with an increase, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 12. Now we're going to start the next round by working an increase in our first stitch, which means 2 single crochets in that same stitch. Stitch marker back in place, and we're going to follow this increase on with an increase in every single one of these stitches all the way around. You're going to have 12 increases in a row. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. We're now going to start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, and we're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish one round, you're going to need 24 single crochets in a row. Once we've done that, we're going to follow the same method 4 times altogether to have 4 rounds of just single crochet. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 4 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 24. We're going to start the next round with 2 single crochets in a row. Here's 1, 2, followed on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your combination for this round. 2 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. We're now going to start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, and we're going to follow this on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your combination for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. Now as you can see, the gap between the stitches is decreasing, so make sure to fill this space up with some fiber fill and complete this round, and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 12. We're now going to work our final round to close this gap between the stitches, and to do this you're going to be working 6 decreases in a row. So let's work on this together. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's your first round. Let's put our first stitch rather, and let's put our stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with 5 more decreases. 2, 3, 4, 5, and my final one, number 6. Once you work your 6 decreases, you will notice that there is a tiny little gap between the stitches. You have now 2 options. 1, you work 1 more decrease and work a slip stitch, or you can sew this gap up using a darning needle. So I'm going to show you the decrease method. We're going to work 1 last decrease, which is decrease number 7. And now the gap between the stitches is tiny, so we should be able to slip our hook in the opposite stitch and work a slip stitch here, like this. Now I can go ahead and slip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this to secure this in place. And there we go, that finishes the body and the head. Now we're going to slip our hook from further away from this stitch and make it come out from that same space where this is coming out from. You're going to yarn over onto your hook and pull this in. Let's do that one more time so it's threaded inside the body and we don't have to snip it too much at all. And there we go. If there's a tiny bit sticking up, you can always snip that off. Now onto the arms, and for this we're going to start off by working a slip knot and chain 2, 1, 2. To start round 1, you're going to skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. Here's my 6th one. Once you have your 6 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. And from here, you're going to start working in a spiral again. So locate your first single crochet for your previous round and work a single crochet on top of it. And this is your first single crochet of round 2. Stitch marker back in place to identify the start of my round. Now we're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So we're going to have 6 single crochets in total. Here's my 4th, 5th, and my final one, number 6. From here you're going to, let's turn this the right way around first. And we're now going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, follow this on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. You're going to repeat that same combination one more time. 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease. I'll stuff this little tail back inside and this will act as stuffing. As this is a tiny arm, we don't really need any stuffing at all apart from that. And this brings our stitch count to 4. Now going to start the next round, and in this round we're going to be working a single crochet in our first stitch followed on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So in total you will have 4 stitches. So that's my first, second, third and fourth. And we're going to repeat the same process 2 more times to have 2 more rounds of single crochet. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and last time. 1, 2, 3, and final one, number 4. Now to finish off with this arm, you're going to be working 2 single crochets on top. So slip your hook in the next stitch and guide it to go through the back as well. So if I pull these stitches apart, you will see I've gone through the front and the back of these stitches in one go. You're going to yarn over, pull up a loop and work a single crochet there. Let's work 1 more to finish this arm off. Chain 1. Now we can go ahead and leave a long tail and snip this yarn off, play out of the stitch and pull this down. And that's one of the arms. You're going to follow the same instructions another time to make another one of these. Now onto the assembly, and we're going to start off by attaching the arms onto the body. Now where we added this scrap yarn is where we're going to be attaching this body on. So if you by mistake pull that out or something, we're going to be doing that just where this tighter part is between the head and the body, around below that. So that's where we're going to be stitching the arm on. So let's take that out, hold the arm in place, and before we stitch it, we're going to line this up with the leg as well. So it needs to be right in the center of the legs. So once we've done that, we're going to pull this out, and now I can stitch this on. Catch 1 stitch on the arm, and then 1 stitch on the body. And we're going to just stitch this all the way to the end. And once we've done that, you're going to slip your needle back in that same stitch, turn the arm upwards and allow the needle to come from the bottom like this. And this is where we're going to secure it in place. Going to isolate 1 little stitch like this and pull your thread through, and you will see there is a loop that you've created. You're going to slip your needle back inside that loop, and now we're going to pull this down. This will create a knot in place. And once this is done, you're going to slip the needle back into that same stitch, guide it to go through some fibre fill and come out from another side of the body. And we can now go ahead and snip this off. And there we go, the arm is now attached. Using the same method, go ahead and attach the other arm on as well. Arms are now on. Moving on to the finer details, we're going to start off with a button. So I'm going to be using a black button to represent the eye, and we're going to attach it on either side that you like. This is going to be positioned 4 rounds below the head, so from the top, should I say. So from here, once we've identified where we want to stitch it, you're going to slip your needle in, make it go through some fibre fill to secure the end of the thread in, like this. And from here you're going to just sew the button on as standard, like this. You can always use a black circle made with yarn instead of a button if you wish to. I've chosen to go for this lovely effect. And there we go. Once you've secured it in place, you're going to create a loop with the threads, slip your needle in and pull this down. Let's do that one more time to secure it in place 100%. And once that's done, slip your needle back inside that same stitch, guide it to go through some fibre fill and come out from another side of the head and pull it out. Now I can go ahead and snip this off. And if it's still visible, you just give it a squeeze and that should disappear. And there we go, the button is now on. Moving on to the other eye, and in place of another button we're going to be making a cross like this. So simply slip your needle threaded with black thread into the space where you want to make the cross. So I want to make the cross exactly in the opposite side of the eye, so it's going to be 4 rounds down. As you can see, this button is taking up a space of 2 rounds, so that's why I've slipped my needle from here and I've kept a 2 stitches gap or 2 rounds gap and made the needle come out from that side. So we're going to slip it back into that same stitch, from here going to guide it to come out a few stitches down this way, and we're now going to insert our needle in the opposite stitch here and guide it to come out from the stitch that we started with again, and that should create an X in place. Once you're happy with the work, you're going to snip these 2 bits of yarn off and tie a knot in place. From here you're going to use your hook, you're going to slip this in from further away and make it come out from that same stitch, yarn over on this hook and pull it through and into the stitches. And you can go ahead and snip these strands of black yarn off. That's the eyes done. Now we're going to make the face, the mouth and a little bit of detail on the body as well. As this is a voodoo doll, you don't have to be too precise. You're just going to draw a smile or the face, a mouth, which appears to be sewn shut. So these lines can go in any direction or however big you like it to be. Once you finish making those lines, you're going to slip this back into that same stitch, into the stitch, and make it come out from where we started it, and pull this through. If any of the threads get pulled too much, you can always pull them out a little bit, like this. And from here, give these 2 bits of yarn a knot as well, just as before. I like to do these with individual bits of thread, because if one of them gets pulled, the rest of the embroidery will still be intact. Once you've done that, I'm going to snip this to a smaller size, slip the hook from further away, get it to come out from near the threads and pull them in. And there we go. That's the mouth done. Okay, now make a line across the body as well. So again, following the same method as the mouth, it doesn't have to be very neat. You can make a vertical line in an angle or however you please. So once you've decided how long you want it to be, you can go ahead and start making the little lines to show that it's been stitched. And once you've done all the lines, you're going to guide the needle to come back out from where we finished, where we started. So back at the beginning. There we are. And again, we're going to be securing this in place by working 2 knots in place like this. Make these strands smaller and pull them into the body. And once that's done, you can go ahead and snip the rest of it off as well if there is anything still sticking out. And there we go. Now that finishes our voodoo doll. If you enjoyed making this little voodoo doll with me, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.